Okay, so to continue with these visualization examples, I will go again to my room, and we will try to fix this button that we used at the end of the last session, just to show you that using the variables, even for the items, that is the secret of this example, even for the items, we can use the variables. So we are giving values to the floor number, room number, so I can use the also generically, not only for one room. So this is the most interesting thing. So I will just change the aesthetic of this button, selecting maybe another one a bit better. But I will copy this item ID and substitute it with a button from our catalog, I think, from our libraries. Let me say, today I will select green buttons. For example, for the light, we have a lot of buttons. Light rect 2 is one good one. Okay, so this button, double click, we can put here the item, send and receive in this case. So I have a lot of possibilities to show you. All the buttons have a lot of possibilities. For example, as you can see, first of all, we can use up to 10 items. So we can create a button and do 10 things with different values. It's like a scenario, no? A scene with different values for when you press on and when you press off. In this case, you are switching the two values from on to off. So it's a of two alternative. Pressing of the button will generate the on and the off value, but you can create your own values. So it's very flexible. You can also decide if it's only for sending or only for receiving. For example, if you put an on-off control and the status as a second object, the status is only to receive, not to send. So this is also important to have this flexibility, but you can create up to 10 elements. So for example, in my practical boards, I didn't need to use the broadcast because I have on-off central for each room, so I can put here all the rooms if necessary. In other cases, not here because we are using variables and this is specific for this room. But in other cases, you can put whatever number of controls. Of course, have different options, just to send only when you press, when you release, increment, decrement, a lot of different options. You have to play with this. So sending only, pressing only when releasing, etc. But also there are some special functions I will show you afterwards in other examples. When you select a different function like an X command button, that it's really nice, you can select an X command. But also you can select the possibility to specify what to do when you press short, when you press long, when you release if it's short, when you release if it's long pressing. So you can simulate the real button with short and long. And we will do a dimming control about this. Okay, but look, all button has the possibility to have normal standard that is really sophisticated, but it's really flexible with just with the standard button, but also X command buttons. You will see that is really nice. But you can select the button to change the page or the layer visibility or a group visibility. Even you can select the button to trigger a web manager window, for example. All these things I will show you later on, or to show a URL like camera, for example, or execute a menu command in Windows that's only for Windows, to close visualization or to start an application, for example, in your computer. So these buttons have a lot of possibilities. We are only focusing in standard possibilities in this case. About the appearance, all button has different icons. These by default are the color off, on, and undefined state. Undefined means when I have a normal item that you know that the quality of the item could be green or red. Green with different values, true or false. But red is when we don't know what is the status of the button, what is the value of this item. So if we don't know, it's undefined state. So we can also define a different icon for it's possible. So as you can see, for a picture of on and undefined state are 3 different possible buttons. So it's possible to change this, but well, in this case, this is a button predefined, so it makes nonsense to change this, because if you want to create your own button, I will show you later, you can do it. Not selecting from the libraries, but selecting from the general catalog objects, a normal button, and then you can change. So it's possible also to use an editor to create new icons, but I will not invest time in this because we use less this option. But there is a specific editor where you can create your own buttons. Position layer, you know, the size it could be changed, but let me put it times, sorry, 100, for example. So it's a bit bigger. And then, okay, we have this for the off, central off, no problem. I will show you now also the temperature. You may remember we had an icon, a label in the home page. I can take it, temperature, it was also designed, so why to lose time doing the same? I copy, and then no floor room. And then I paste here. Okay. Okay. Now I will just put the value, only this. Okay, it's enough. But I will put some limits. Imagine 20 degrees is maximum, 15 is minimum. So if this value is out of the range, you will see the background will be in red. Maybe we can also change the color of the text if it's out of the range. Okay, this is only for room 1. I have to change also, yes, for the variables. Okay, this is only for room 1, but as you can see, it's out of the range because it's higher than 20. So we can also define these kind of things. Let me do it well, because this is only for a specific room, and we need to do it for any of the rooms. So let's see. We have to change these fixed values to with the use of the variables for the floor. And okay, let me copy. I could do it manually. Link and floor and room number. Okay, so this is now generic. So depending on the temperature, it can be different. I can change this for all of them. So imagine the text color when it's false. Let me select yellow instead of black, and no background when the value is correct. And this item maybe has to be this way, for example, not to waste a lot of space in my room, for example. This is an indicator. Okay, so to see again if this is working or not, we need to go to the home page. Okay, and then I have to give values to the variable. So I give value to the floor number with this. We go to the first room again. And the value is above 20, so it's red. Maybe let's check if the second floor, yes, also 20.20. Let me go to the floor and the first room. Almost in the limit, but it's outside. It's not higher than 20, it's 20. So this value is not with a red background and the yellow text. This is out of the limit, so depending on the room. So just also for you to understand that every single value is considered independently. So we can see the real values. In this case, is the same as before. In this case, is higher even. It's normal to be higher and higher temperature. The floor, the highest floor we select, 401, 402. Okay. Also, controlling the lights, it's possible, as you can see. I am changing the lights of this room one by one. Okay, giving values always. Okay, and changing the values of the lights. Okay, let's continue. Now I'm going to start working with the lights individually, because we have the controls for the whole lights of the room. Would like to control light by light. What are the lights that we have? We have the whole light near the door. Okay, this is just a picture, it's fixed picture, but we can consider that element. The bathroom light, okay, on off only, left, right, on off, left, because the idea is that the customers consider if you are in the bed, this is the left. If you are in the bed, this is your right. Bed, dimmable, and ceiling, 6 different lights. So to do the control of each light, we will use a widget. One widget for the on-off lights and one for the dimmable lights. Or even if you want, one widget for all. Maybe it's better to do this. One for all. If they are not dimmable, it only works on off and status. But just to simplify the example, one for all. So this widget will be like this. I will show you, but we have done it sometimes. So I will just show you. It's my idea to have this, but in English, okay? But this is the idea. A button for on-off, a button to dim with long and short, like a push button, normal push button. The slider to control the value of the light, indicating what is the percentage of the light. So as an example, we can have this as a reference, but I will show you how to create this widget and how to group all the lights in this way. Okay, so this is just my reference to do. So first of all, we need some gray element, rectangular element for the background. So we have, I think so, was this kind of background? No. We had some background for a library that was called NETx Demo Shopping Mall. Maybe this, I think it was more, maybe this or maybe this. Let me check. No, not this. Okay, number 2. So what is the size of this element? We can take a look. Double click to see the properties. And this is 348, 365. Okay, more or less. So now the sizes are similar. I can do this in a different way. I can select this and this element. Let me select this and this element and select this button size, same size, so it's the same thing to do. But I am doing for all the elements of the widget. So this is the reason I didn't do this before, because I am selecting a group. Maybe I have to ungroup this, ungroup all these elements so they are different elements. So now I select this and this. Okay, but it's just for you to understand. And now the opacity. So if you want to do an element with some transparency is a property of this. So opacity can be changed, for example, to 50%. Maybe it's better to have 70%, for example. I don't know what the opacity of this, but this is what you would like to have. Some opacity, not totally transparent, not totally filled. So 60, maybe it's okay. Well, then I need a label that indicates me which light I am working with. So I need a new variable, for a grouping, because the light can be different. It can be hall, bath, left, right, bed, and ceiling. So I need one widget for all the lights. I don't want to create one of these widgets for every light because it will take a lot of space in my example. So what I'm going to do is just to delete. You have the idea of what I want to create, so I don't want to have the reference always here. I will delete it. Thank you. Now it's out. Then, okay, a label. I need a label, but I will need to create a group. So label here. But I will create the group later on. Light, whatever. And text color, white. Well, later on I will create the group. Light, whatever will be. Okay. Then I need a button to turn on and off. But I will create this button with my icons. So I will show you how to create a customized icon. A button from the general catalog. Okay. Double click. I will say 100 and 100 pixels like this. It's awful, I know, but we can select files here to select whatever icons for off, on, and undefined state you may like. That's possible. Or you can also create your own template. If you press new, you will get a new software to create your own icons. Maybe you know from Wire all these things. Well, it's possible. I never use it in the last years, but it's possible. Just to show you that it's possible. Maybe I don't have some things installed and it's not working, but I don't know. It triggers a software that should give you the possibility to edit icons or whatever. But no problem. I will select different files for this. So a file for off state, a file for on state, and a file for undefined state. Whatever kind of icons you may have. I will try in another screen to use icons. I have some icons that we can share also if you want. Like off state, this icon, for example, gray. For on state, it's just an example. The yellow one. And for undefined state, red one, like the color of the item when it has not. It's just an example. Static is always okay. So this is my first button. for on and off. So it will be useful for on and off. Say okay. I will place it in my group, but then I will the graphically fixing of the icons will be done later. But when I finish the group, but this is my button, just a static thing. Okay, then I will enter in the control in the items of the element. But statically is this object function. By default is switch, so it's okay. And then I will try to come back and select all the items, but I will do all the items all together. Now I am interested just in creating these functions. Okay. So now, if the light is dimmable, I will not need this kind of button, because I can do it with the next two buttons I will show you, because I want a button that can give me the possibility to pressing short turn on and pressing long dim up the dimming light, the dimmable light, and another button that with pressing short I will turn off, and with pressing long I will dim down the light. Dimming, relative dimming. Okay. In KNX, it's a 4-bit object. If you have been trained in KNX, you know that is a 4-bit object for relative dimming, and has a specific syntax and codification. So I will try to explain to you this codification. But first is the button. Again, I will use a button, a normal button that can be totally flexible in terms of size. Again, 100 times and 100 times pixel for width and height. In terms of appearance, I will select the special icon that is a plus. It's a plus. So I think I have it in my icons folders. Plus. Yes, it's a plus, but I don't remember the name. Okay, maybe. No. Let me check. Add, yes. It's they call it edit add. It's a plus. It's edit add. It's a different name, so I was a bit confused, but because I cannot see the icons here, and I will use the same icon for the 3 states. Okay, it's not a problem because this will not represent the state of the light. It's just a button. So edit add, and then I show you the result. This is the button. This plus. Okay, so let me this here near the other button. This will be here for the long pressing of the button. If you want to put in the same height, you can select both and use this align top. What is the reference? The one with the red border, top. Okay, so you have the same reference. You can position all the elements with the cursor. You can move it if you need to move it. It's enough. But double click. It has moved. I will solve it later on. Double click and then function of this object. It's not a standard button. It will be an X command button. So this is really nice. X command. So you can see, you can do up to 10 things, but distinguishing if it's a short, a long press, long down, or a long up. It means releasing after a long press. 3 different things we can do with this button. What do we want to do with a short click? Turn on the light. So I can select, as you can see here, an X command when you press the button. X command, that will be a very basic thing. just to write a telegram, but it could be, you know, whatever kind of thing you may like. So you can send a telegram, or you can do whatever logic pressing a button. In this case, it's just the most basic thing, the write. I want just to write a telegram. To which item ID? Okay, I will write the item ID. It will be just on off of a light, but this light will be not a fixed light of a fixed room. It will be whatever light. So I need a variable for this. Whatever light will be a group variable, because this pop-up will be grouped and represent whatever light, and for whatever light of any of the rooms. So again, we will need to use the floor and room variables. But now I will not use the item ID here later on, but the value, yes. What do you do with 1 bit to turn on? I need 1. I need 1 to turn on. Short press of the button. Then it's missing the input, but I will later on come back. I'm just defining. And if you press down, and the difference, the threshold is 500 milliseconds to distinguish if you are pressing short or long, like a normal KNX button. So it's fantastic. What do you want to do? To write, okay, yes. The item ID will be the dimming, relative dimming, not the switching on off, but the relative dimming. So I will later on come here, or maybe if you want, I can just select one light of one room, doesn't mind. It's a dimmable one, okay, it's not a problem, dimmable one. So I can do it. Dim light of whatever, dim, this is dim whatever light. This will be a variable, but for any of the rooms. But okay, let me keep this here, and then I will change it, including the variables. But what happens with the value? It's a 4-bit value. In binary, if you want to dim up 100%, because you will stop, you will break this dimming with the long release, long down, as it mentions there. This is the third option I will configure later on. But if you press down, you will need the following information to send in 4-bit. In 4-bit, in binary, should be 1 to go up, 001 for 100%. So up 100% of the light. This is to dim up the light. This is the combination. But I cannot write here these values because it's decimal value. It's not binary. So 1001 means 9 in decimal. So I put 9 because I want to dim up 100% the light when I press long. Of course, this has to be explained. If you don't understand the 4-bit data point, you will never find a way to use this control. You need to know something about KNX data points, but this I have explained, so it's easy to understand. And we always explain this in KNX trainings. Just this. Okay, it's pending. It's still missing to change this fixed value to the normal values. If you want, I can also put the on-off item for the short pressing, on-off, whatever light, it doesn't mind. On-off ceiling, okay. Then I will change this and this, because the 3 things will be variables: the floor, the room, as before, and also the light. But it's okay. I can put it now this way. And then what happens if I release the button before the light is totally on or totally off? I have to break. So it's a dimming. What I did, the dimming of the light. Okay. And what is the value? It's a break. So whatever with these 3, 1 or 0, I mean, this is 1 or 0, with 3 break. So stop dimming, it is the order. When you release the button, you will say stop dimming. So for example, 1000 or 0000, it doesn't mind. It's break. So this is binary, in decimal can be 8 or could be 0 also, doesn't mind, because the important thing is that the last three zeros, the last three bits are 0 in this case for the relative dimming 4-bit of a codification. So we need to understand this. Okay, so we will be able with this button to distinguish short pressing, long pressing down, and long pressing release, long up, and other possibilities you have here. Okay, so, and remember, any X command you can select, so you have a lot of things you can do. Okay, even commands created by, we did yesterday this X command, you remember? A message with value. I can send a value if I want, if I press the button. Even 3-4 things when the short press or with the long, not only controlling the light. You can do whatever. So you can maybe send a secret message to whatever person somebody is pressing this button at this time. So it's possible to send a message. Somebody has pressed this button, because you can send a telegram when there is a short or a long pressing of a button, for example. But okay, let's do simple example and not so complex. This is the plus button. I will have to change these items because I didn't take care of the items related to variables, but this is finished configuration. Okay. Then I need a button to turn off and dim down. Same idea. A button, it's okay. I could copy paste, but the design will be affected because it is in the project, and so I prefer to do it this way. Of course, you can store in the library and use it every time, but I have to teach you, I have to show you how to do it. So if I take everything from the libraries, I am not showing you anything. So let's do it again very fast. 100 pixels as the size. The appearance, some files we can choose. In this case will be from my icons, remove is the icon I done before. To select the icon, remove is a minus in red color, so I think it's good. But as tell you, you can select any kind of icon. I will show you all the extensions you can use. Look, all the extensions you can use are huge. PNG, BMP, JPG, SVG, RLE, WMF, EMF, GIF, TIFF. So really nice. So I select the icon here and I apply, it's a minus, okay? And what are the functions for this button? X command button, short click, long down, I want also long up. So a short will be, let me do the long down first. What to do if I want to dim down the light? I need to send 0 for the direction of the light, of the dimming, minus 100%. This is in binary. Before it was plus 100%. So I wrote a 9 in decimal. Now it's decrease 100%. So I just have to put 1. But this is not 1 for turn on. It's 1 in 4-bit format. So it's a dimming, 4 bits value is 1, so it's decreasing 100%. Okay, and when I release in binary with the same 4-bit, when I release the button, it will be decrease, stop decreasing. This is 3 last bits 0, so it's a stop or break. So with 0 is okay, or 8, it's also okay. Okay, you can put 8 because stop is always the last 3 bits in 0, so it doesn't mind 1 0 0 0 or 0 0. In this case, let's put 0. That is the same case. And for the on-off, what I want to do with the short pressing of the button, so I did first this, and then I will use the on-off, is to send 0 in 1 bit. So 0 in 1 bit is off. That's it. I repeat, I have to change this light and the number of the room or the floor later on because I want to use this gadget for any light of any room. Okay, so this is what I want to do. I'm just designing. Okay, designing. So for any dimmer, if you want again to align, sorry, align the three elements, we can align top, and we can align, sorry, spacing equal vertically distance. Okay, so we can respect the distance equal vertically. The size can be changed also, and so on. So it's nice. Okay, now a slider. For example, how to use a slider? We have sliders, and we have very nice sliders like this. We can use horizontal, for example. Vertical is also interesting, but horizontal is okay. Horizontal is when you move left or right, you are feeling the value. It's easy to understand from 0 to 100. Vertical, of course, is also easy to understand. Double, and it's easy. This is easy. Colors, fill color in yellow. I always like this fill color in yellow. Interior color could be gray, for example, like this, or maybe transparent or whatever, doesn't mind. Or background color transparent. It's also, but interior color can be also changed. And no pointer in this case, so that's it for my design. You can change the design for whatever of these elements on the say library on the fly. If you don't like this, you can change to this, and you have with scaling, changing, of course, minimum and maximum values. It's also possible. I think it's not necessary to do this. Okay, so axis 0 to 100 is important. Okay, and then just to put the items I will do later on, but if you want, we can put an item for whatever light. In this case, has to be value control, so it will be 100%, so it's a 1 byte control here, and the status, we need also the status only to receive. Then I have to come back and change this number of the light and the rooms and so. No scale factor is necessary here because we had specified in KNX that these objects that come from KNX are DPTs 5.001. It's a percentage now, so I don't have to apply a scale. It's already calculated by this. So I will move this element and put it here to control the light in percentage, for example, only if it's dimmable, because we have decided, or I have decided, to use the same widget for any kind of light, but it will be only this button, or maybe this and this buttons for only the short pressing will be turn on and off the light. And if it's dimmable, everything will work. I can control the value with the slider. I can just dim with long press these buttons and on and off with the short press of this, use this button for on and off also. And okay, just to represent the percentage, it's also possible. So let me put here a label. Like, for example, current percentage in white color. It could be done in the same label. It's okay, like this. And I am almost finished. I will copy paste this. and use this label just to show you the percentage. So no need to do this, just to select the object. It will be an indicator and it will be the status of the light. Then I have to change this, I repeat, okay, I have to change all these things. But so light, and then I put a format here, like, 0 to points 0.0 with only one decimal, for example, close, and percentage indication with text color in white. So I have finished the design, okay, of my widget. What I have to do now is the following. I will select all these elements and I will group. I create a group, new group, light control, for example. Graphically fixed is one of the options I have. That's good. Graphically fixed, I need it. So if I just select OK, this is moving all together. So I don't move only one part of these elements, it's move all together. Okay. So I will go again to group, properties. I will declare this as a pop-up group. So this will be hidden. If you don't select the light you want to control, you will not see this element. It's a pop-up group. Auto close global means that when you press outside of the element, it will disappear also. So you need to press to trigger the appearance of the group, but also you need to when you press outside, it will disappear. So this is the question. It could be global, it will be yes or no. So to close yes or no, touching outside of the element is always closing. Well, and the last option I will show you later on, toggle switch. It's for a different thing, but only for buttons, so for specific controls that I will show you. For the start makeup room, but let me continue with this. Okay, but now it's a group. It's a group. So what happens with the groups that can have the groups can have variables. As you can see here, I have a group selected, light control, and I can create a variable. Call this variable L for light. Okay. So now the items can be referred. So L for light. Copy var link, and if you remember, I wanted to indicate which is the light I am controlling. This is for that. And this variable is needed also for the items. So let me include here items. Then include before. We want to turn on off a light, but it will not be only for the whole, it will be for whatever light. So this is a group. And also we have, and I will do manually, page variable for the floor and page variable for the room. So if you know the syntax, you can also substitute this variable. Okay, so we have to select the floor, we select the room, we give values to the floor and the room, and we will give also value in terms of selecting which is the light that to control as a third and next dimension of the variables. So selecting the room and also which of the lights in the room you want to control with only one widget. We have 6 lights, 8 rooms, 48 lights that can be controlled with only one widget design. Okay, this is the on-off, but we have to select the status light also. I need to indicate what is the status of the light. because we can have different status. So it's instead of on off, we have a status, the text. The only thing that changes is this. So, okay, I can copy paste, remembering that I have to just change on off for status. If you do it well, you will get no any issue. But with the variables, status of whatever light, in whatever room of whatever floor. This is what I need. Okay. What happens with the rest of the elements that I have also to change the variables? All these things. So again, on off, that's good, on off. Now it's properly made. This is for dimming. Dim ceiling, instead of on off is dim, so I just have to remember this is dim, and the item, I will copy this, dim, refer to variables, again with this, also to stop or break the dimming, and we have to refer to variables. Well, this is on off. I have to put here on off. This is the name of the alias. Remember, I am using aliases for the items. I don't know if it came from KNX or BACnet. I know that it's KNX, but you will see that also BACnet elements can be included here because we are using alias. For dimming, whatever light, not only ceiling. Well, we only have 2 lights to dim, but it's okay. And dim to break. That's it. And finally, this element, value percentage. Okay, we also, instead of dim, value percentage, and status percentage. And then I take this for the last. This one will be generic. Refer to any of this. Okay. So let's check if it's working fine. I will open the camera. And we can starting from but we cannot work with the lights, as you will see, because we haven't defined the elements to trigger this light. So it's not possible now to control any light, as you will see. So I go to the floor, I can go to the room, but there is no control. Where is the control for the light? So what I need before showing it to you is to put here transparent elements to trigger this pop-up, but also giving the name of the light I want to control. So this is what I have to do now. change pop-up visibility. You remember that we can do this with our elements. So change pop-up visibility. We need elements pop-up visibility for any of these lights in the hall, in the bath, left, right, bed, or ceiling. So first to show you, so I will close the camera because it's not possible to show it to you. We need to define these elements. So one link area here, and then I will show you new here, link area parameters for this button. Okay. What to do with this element? It will help me, no go to page, it will help me to change the group visibility. The only group I have is light control, of course, okay? And the switch on. In this case, when I press, I switch on this pop-up. And see that as a group, the light control has a variable. So again, I will use this variable. Yes, I am interested to use this variable. But this element, I want to use, again, a variable for the object. So I will create a variable, and it will be info, for example. I will put just info. Copy var link and use this info. Because I want to put the name of the light here. This will be hall. So it has to be exactly the same name. And then I can put again this info here, hall light. So the tooltip will be depending on the object variable, hall light, bed light, bath light, left light, or whatever. But I will show you that we can also include information. In these elements, you can include different things. For example, I am interested to create a new property for this object, new property, not only one, can be other. It's the model of the lamp for maintenance reasons, for example, and with the power. How many watts do we need? Imagine, no? And then this is a model I will invent, PLX4, it's just, and 125 watts. It's just for you to understand. These are objects, variables with different information. So I am going to show you how to put this in the tooltip. First, separating with a new line. So I have a variable that was CH, and with the option NL is like a new line for me. So I can put here model 2 points, and this will be information included in a variable of this object. And then I create again a new line. This is a variable specified for this. Okay. And then I put here power and include this information, 25 watts. Copy this bar link, and it's a long thing, I know, but here. Okay. Even more, I can include the value of the item, of whatever item it can has, but it's not for this example. I can include the value of an item here, wherever. But as a tooltip, it can be enriched a lot. For example, for the temperature, if I have the tooltip of the temperature that tells me it's external temperature, that is not true. In this case, it's not external temperature, but I could add the external temperature if I want. External item value. I will show later, but just to finish this example. So different objects, okay? So for the tooltip, you fill with values and you get a lot of information in the tooltip. Okay, this is not just now the definition, but at the end you will see the information when I put this element in whatever light I want. So first of all, the function of this element is to change group visibility, make invisible the light control, but which light? This one. And a part of this, in the tooltip, there are more information included. Okay, so what I have to do now, because I did it, I invest time to do this for this, but it is easier for me to change for this second light. It's not the whole, it's the bath. The model can be, instead of 34, 21, and maybe this is just 10 watts, for example. But the most important is the name of the light, because the item ID depends on this, on-off bath, status bath. So the name of the items has this whole, bath, left, right, etc. So what I'm going to do is this with copy pasting this element that has a lot of design on it, just changing, instead of bath, this is left, and this is 99 with 40 watts. Then this is right. Same model, same watts. Example, it has to be changed every time. And then this is for the bed, a bit bigger. I will quit the border later on. This is for the bed. Bed, important because the pop-up will use this variable. This is the most important info to fill. Okay. I release the border here now. And the last, paste from here. This is for the ceiling, for example. So if you press any light, you will get the control of the light. Sorry, this is the border, but what I have to change here is to put the right name, because the item ID has this name, and then the model doesn't mind. Let's say 100 watts, wherever. So let me show you now how this works. Now it should work. I just release the border of all these elements, not to have a border because it's not good for the practice. And then I can, yes, I can now test it. What happens with this border? I did it, release it. So let me show you now the camera. Okay, so then let me show you. We start from home. Okay. Go to a first room, for example. Okay. So the bed light, you see light bed. I can turn on only this light. I can dim down with long press. Ooh, it's working fine. Dim up, long press also. Yes. Turn off with short. Yes. Turn on again with long, with short here. And you see the status. That's working really nice. I can control the value directly with the slider. Yes. And we can see the percentage at the end. But what happens if I select the ceiling? That it's a different light. This light is in the front. Now I'm controlling a different light that I can also dim. I can also turn off. And if I change this, I turn off this. So I am controlling different lights. Also, the hall, it's only on off. So you can see this in the front also as an icon, also only a small green button. At also the bathroom, the second. So any of the lights, and also with the short, it should work. Yes, not the long because they are not dimmable, but with the short is they are working. Of course, we should have created a specific widget for the on-off controls, but it's working fine. This is the room 10101. Let's go to room 0401. So I guess you understand that I am in a different room. If I want to control the light bed of this room, is a different light, and the ceiling is that specific light of that room. So as a resume, and I can close the camera, resume, you have seen that with this second dimension, we can say, with this second kind of variables, group variables, I have with the page variables the possibility to give values to the floor and the room, etc. And with the group variables, select any element inside the room. So imagine I have 10 lights per room, floors, 100 rooms per floor. That's 100,000 number of lights with only one widget. It's possible. So, and how many time it takes to you? A few hours to give this control. And extending this practice to the shutters, for example, I will not the time to design the controls of the shutters because you can understand how to do this. But if I have a library to control shutters, for example, in my library, curtain group, okay. I have a group that is called curtain, okay, just created. So if I press here, you have here the group curtain, okay. After curtains, let's say, curtain the lights, curtain for the terrace, and I think the other name, I will show you the items, curtains, shutters, bath, and terrace. Move, stop, set point height, or current height, and both are not lamellas. Bath and terrace. So the same idea, the structure of the items is the same. The room, shutters, move, curtain bath, stop, curtain bath, set point height percentage for curtain bath, current height, and whatever. So the same idea. bath and terrace is the only difference between different curtains, and floor and room number are the only difference from different rooms and floors. So what they can do is just to configure this. But look, I can use the same space for controlling the curtains. In design, maybe this is a bit disturbing for me because I have a lot of things transparent, and so no problem. You can hide if you don't want to see this group. You can hide or show whatever group you want to see. So that's good. And then, okay, it's create group variable curtain, and then just to check the values of my buttons to move up. Of course, it's a different example, so let me select the right items for this example. In my example, I have my room with page variable for the floor and page variable for the room, shutter smooth curtain, and this is my group variable curtain that today I will only use C or a S for shutter. More lazy than last year. Move curtain, whatever. So this is the item. And then the value is wrong. It's 0 to go up. So it was a mistake in this button. It was not right, not correct. It's 0 to go up in KNX. So this is the item to move up the curtain when I press. So look, this is just toggle down. It's not a switching button alternating different values. It's just toggle down, so only one value. Okay. This is for up. This is for down. It's much more easier. I just put the same value, and the value is 1. Yes. To move down, move curtain down. Okay. Stop. It's just a stop. So I can paste, but changing instead of move is stop. Stop. I know that this is the name. It doesn't mind 0 or 1. Stop is a stop. So it doesn't mind the value. But then I could also put a slider for positioning the curtain. But what I'm going to show you is a multi-picture also. Multi-picture that was already for this. Sorry, I want to move it back here. Multi-picture. I have to wait a second, and then I can move the mouse. It's a bit slow, my computer today. The multi-picture will give me the information on how is the shutter position. I have one multi-picture. I will show you because it was already designed and it's not correct. This is a multi-picture. This element, I will put the bath curtain, let's say, double click, and this is showing you 1, 2, 3 bars. So the picture will change depending on the item value. So I will select what is the item value, the current height, okay, the current height, but refer to any floor and any room. So again, these variables I can copy paste also, okay, but maybe it's sometimes faster. Floor and PG, page for room, shutter, and this is fixed because this is the bath. It's not variable. It's just representing what is happening with this curtain bath. Okay, that's it. So I will copy this, and this is configured to have different pictures. You will see one bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, up to 10 bars. I think, depending on the value of this status. Status between this and this value, this picture, this picture, these pictures. Depending, picture will be different. So it's a multi-picture element. So you will see the result, and I will copy paste this, and for example, put here another representation of a shutter. Imagine that is a terrace, not the television, but imagine that is a terrace, just an example. The object is curtain terrace. Curtain terrace. So, okay. And finally, we need to trigger this pop-up control. Okay. So to trigger this control, I need, for example, link area, but I will do it with a different option, a button. I will use a button to trigger, to control the curtain for the bath and the curtain for the terrace. Don't worry, it will be not so awful. I will put 0% opacity using transparency. Okay. Oh, sorry, 0% opacity and transparent area clickable, all of the transparent area. And I will put a text here, control bath curtain, for example, or just bath curtain. Okay. And with a text at a proper size that you can check. And this bath curtain, it's good name for this. And what we will do with this, we change group visibility. So we can select this option. The group is curtain, and which curtain will be the bath. This is the name of variable. So it will be opening my bath curtain and give that bath text to the variables. That's important. And this is bath curtain control. Another way to do this, instead of a transparent element over the light, and terrace curtain, just text here, terrace curtain, and variable terrace. So let's check it. I start. So let's go. Floor. We don't need the camera for this because you will see the status of the shutter. Very easy. The bath curtain, go down. It's moving. So you will see after the curtain is totally down, what is the status of the curtain. We could also put here a text with a percentage, but it will be visible. You can see this. I don't know what happens with the transparency of this element, but you see that it's totally down. And if I select the terrace curtain and move it down, after the 10 seconds I have programmed, it will be down. It's moving. So let me go back to the bath curtain, move it up. The other is down, the other is going up. If I stop, you represent a different position. So it's working fine. We are controlling the shutters. Curtain going up. So it's representing more or less the status. Okay. So that was what I wanted to show you. The lights were still working. It's not necessary to go there. And finally, and we can stop up to the last session. Let me go to room. Well, I will finish with do not disturb makeup room very, very fast. I have the possibility to use these buttons. Let me use these buttons, but not so awful buttons. Undefined, yes, yellow maybe, it's okay. On, off, gray. Okay, and not so big. It's so big for me. Even 100 will be big, I think. No, it's okay. This is the do not disturb, for example. So I will select here do not disturb button, you know, it's an item very easy to understand, and do not disturb status. Okay, status. But for the room, so I guess I need to copy bar links here and substitute this with floor and room for both. Remember that these elements came from BACnet. That's important because we are using aliases, and I don't mind if they were coming from BACnet or not. I don't mind. So I have this, do not disturb. Then I will do not disturb. Okay. Tooltip. And make up room. Okay, another button, make up room. Will be instead of green, red, for example. And instead of DND, it's MUR. Button status. Another thing I will do, change the tooltip, of course, make up room. You can put also text together and so. But another thing I will do is to group these elements using a special function for buttons that was called toggle switch. Toggle switch for buttons only. What does it mean? Let me show you. It means that when you press one, the other will be released. So only one of the two options will be possible, or do not disturb or make up room if you want to implement this. So let me show you. Do not disturb or make up room. I need an Ethernet cable in my BACnet device because it's not connected, but I will solve this in a few seconds. Yes, it's solved in 3 seconds. I was using the cable for everything, so they are not connected, so we don't have status feedback from them. And now they are connected, so do not disturb, make up room. So you can see one or the other. If I show you the camera with the BACnet element, just for a second, and I will finish now the second session. Can you see here is these two? This is BACnet, okay? So if I select do not disturb, I have the other option, make up room. It changed. Cannot be both at the same time. If I change the room, let's say the next room, 0102, will be the next row. Do not make up room. Okay, so every single room will have its own. If I change the floor, for example, 0202, it's the fourth. It's working fine. So we can integrate BACnet with KNX with any problem, without any kind of problem. If I select room 0201, that is the missing row, I can select do not disturb, make up room. So you get all this information in your property management system or whatever. The other floors, for example, the fourth floor is the next card. So you can see also are integrated, working really fine. For the last two rooms, we can select whatever value. Okay, so it's BACnet and it's working as promised. So this session is finishing now. What we will see in the last one, I will include web manager windows, so trendings for specific rooms, calendars if we have created calendars. I don't remember, but I can do it in a few minutes, so we can refresh this template concept. Alarms, view, or all these things, and also of course we have to send it to the web manager to manage the visualizations and see in a browser or see this in the tablet and so on. So this will be for the third and last session of today and last session of the training to finish this training. I apologize if you have some issues with the sound. I have seen something in the chat, but we have a good Ethernet with good internet connection. It's the best connection that we can have. So maybe it's an issue with the computer itself. I will try to improve this for the last session. So thanks so much and see you in 35 minutes back again.